The Chicago Bulls offseason has started, even though we're still waiting on Pat, the designer. But the question is how much trust should Bulls fans still have in AK and the front office? We'll talk about it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central, YouTube pages and podcasts. And that avatar you see over there, that's Pat the designer. He will be here in a second. He had some mic issues. I tried to tell him I'm on a work crunch today, so I had to start the show right on time today. But he's the creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. With that said, as we're waiting on Pat, the designer, to come through, there you go.
Check.
There you go. There you go.
What
up, Pat?
What's going on, my guy?
So let's start the show off, bro. How much faith right now do you have in AK? How much faith do you think fans should still be giving AK and Eversley to turn this thing around?
None. But what I will say is that you can be cautiously optimistic, right? And that's kind of where I feel like you have to be as a Bulls fan right now, just because there is no faith that you can look at and say, oh, yeah, we can for sure say that this is going to go the way the Bulls wanted to go. Nothing seems to do that. But the last year and a half worth of moves, you can feel good about. You know what I mean? Look, Coby's growth, Giddey, the Giddey trade worked out in your favor. Matas Buzelis looks like a young piece that's moving in the right direction. There are things that you can look at and say, that's good for the Bulls. But you also have to look at the totality of what AK's done and the recent firing of your development coach and say, these moves don't make sense. And if we're being honest, they're all moves that have hurt the Bulls in the long run.
Well, yeah, I think you point out an important distinction there, right? You can have faith in the players, but not necessarily as much faith in the front office, right? Like, there's a lot of faith that I have in these players. It just is. Like, there's a lot of reason for the Josh Giddey, the Coby White, the back half of the season, Matas Buzelis in the direction that he's on. If Trey Jones does come back, what he's shown when he was here with the Chicago Bulls, like those type of things. But this front office and the people guiding it, the thing that is starting to feel like, Pat, is that it's like they're just not smart. They get lucky. I just don't know. When's the last time AK made a smart, like Matas? He fell to you there at number 11. That's not, I mean, credit to you for taking him and not doing something crazy like, passing on Walker Kessler and drafting Dalen Terry. But at the same point, like, I don't look at that as like being like a smart move. That was just a move that you got lucky on, right? Like,
you gotta know that he's the guy, though. You know what I mean? I do think that's a tough one, right? It's not like the number one overall pick where it's like your choice is Derrick Rose or Michael Beasley, and it's like, well, one of them is from Chicago and one of them isn't. Yeah. And both of them have the talent to be great. Let's go with the one that's from Chicago, though. I do think there's some scouting that has to go into Matas Buzelis. There's some belief that, hey, he's here, but if he adds this jump shot, he could be here.
Yeah, but what you're saying is faith that you have in everybody that you draft. They had that same faith in Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, and Patrick Williams. I'm not saying that they didn't have any faith in Matas Buzelis and there wasn't a level of scouting there. I'm just saying that I don't look at that as like, I would grade that move as a smart move if they moved up to get him. Like let's say that he wasn't going to fall to number 11 and they made a smart move by packaging some assets to move up to number 6 and aggressively get their guy because that's who they had on their board. I don't know if I label that as completely as smart because they believed in somebody that 4 months earlier was projected to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. They should have had faith in that.
I mean, yeah, but everybody in the NBA ahead of us lost faith in them. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
yeah, but that was a draft. That was a weird draft, right? But that also plays a part into why it wasn't necessarily the smartest decision. Like, I'm not saying there was a complete lack of brain activity on that one, but I'm just saying you can't give them the ultimate credit for drafting somebody that fell there to them. They took it. They were advantageous. They took advantage of what was there, as they should do. But it's not like that. I can grade that as this overall hugely smart deal. Even the Josh Giddey trade, like, shout out to Giddey and him working out for you. Like that's a great move. It ended up working out for you guys greatly well. And I'm glad that it did, but like for a second there, it looked like he wasn't fitting in, right? So again, it's how you rank those moves, and it really comes down to how your determining factor is on it. But with every one of those, it's the extension of Lonzo Ball when you could have really waited to the offseason.
Yeah. I think your hits are hits, right? I'll give him credit for drafting Matas because there's 10 other NBA teams that are looking back now and like, well, maybe I'll say
Probably
9. If you got Stephon Castle, you feeling good. But if you're sitting right now with Zachary Richardson,
that's the thing. I think
you're sick.
I think the Hawks are still very confident in Zachary Richardson.
Oh, that's great. Hey, guess what? If I pick somebody number 1 overall, I would be very confident in them too. But Zachary Richardson put up a lot of cardio in a playing game.
Yeah, bro, he got a lot of cardio in. He got a lot of cardio in.
Hey, I'm just saying he was a lot closer to P. Will than he was to Matas. That's not a good start for you for your number 1 overall pick. And Matas had an okay game. He didn't really do much either, but it's a long way from 1 to 11 on the scale of expectation here. I'll give you credit for the Giddey move, even though it took you years to finally actually make a move on Alex Caruso, but it ends up working out for you. I'll give you credit on finally putting the keys into Coby White's hand and actually seeing some growth from that. But getting credits for 3 things, right? It's like getting a credit on your bill. You got $3 off of your $1,000 bill. That's not gonna help you. Even if let's say it's $100, you got $300 off of your $1,000 bill. Guess what? The bill's $1,000 because you didn't move on from Zach LaVine in time. You didn't move on from DeMar DeRozan in time. You for some reason are in love with Lonzo Ball. I mean, my God, I don't know what's going on.
What does he have to do? What is like that?
He got news.
Everybody in a mama knew you were like Andre Drummond wasn't coming back. You got offered 2 seconds and said, you know what? No, we good on that.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't make any sense.
Those are the moves where it's like there's so much counting against you. I can't come out here and tell Bulls fans have faith in AKME that they're going to get this right. You realize it's been where we at? We had 6 years with them, 5, 6 years,
6 years, bro.
And you haven't accomplished getting out of the first round. Atlanta's got out of the first round.
They got to ECF, bro.
Orlando's gotten out of the first round. You haven't accomplished. I'm not even saying competing for a championship.
This is the worst part.
Getting out the first round.
No, but this is the worst part about all of this, bro. Just keep this in mind. The worst part about all of this is that look at the number of teams that were lower than us when AKME took over that are now considerably higher than us in the standings now.
Yeah. Knicks were worse than the Bulls.
The Magic were worse than the Bulls just 2 years ago. The Detroit Pistons were worse than us just a year ago.
Yeah. It's insane. It's just bad. And it's what irritated me the most about the whole I'm asking Bulls fans for patience for the summer of 2026. It's like, okay, so you're throwing another year down the drain already. We ain't even got to that year yet. We ain't even got to 2025 yet. You already throwing that year down the drain. Don't expect anything
from us in 2025. We need you to hold out to the summer of 2026.
It's like that shouldn't be how you don't get to operate that way and feel comfortable unless Jerry Reinsdorf owns the team. Like that's realistically the bottom line on all of this. So like, to me, the faith in AKME should be 0. Hope that he can get lucky. Maybe that's there. But as far as faith goes, there's no faith that he's going to get anything done because there's not even anything. There's not enough wins to even say that he's going to have a good offseason.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I don't expect much this offseason. I keep trying to label that out there. I just want everybody to prepare. All those people who are trying to get you ready for talking about it's a bonus trade and all, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Oh, listen, none of it should be happening after you get bounced into playing again.
No, I mean, but hell, on top of that, like you literally said that you want us to have patience for development and then fired the best development coach you have in the building. So you're not being patient with development. Like, we need all you guys to be patient. We're trying to develop. Then you fire a development coach. Where's the patience, AK?
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. AK the one need to develop. That's what we need to see. We need some development in the front office.
A near 60-year-old man he needs to develop, bro. Like that's crazy,
bro. That's what you get. That's he hasn't. He's the P Will of GMs. He just keeps re-signing Lonzo Ball.
That's why they love him so much. We have the P Will of front offices. But we're going to continue this conversation. We're talking about how aggressive should the Chicago Bulls be in this draft. I have an interesting take, spin on that to throw to Pat on this one. We'll get into that right after a message from DoorDash. NBA fans, you know what time it is? Playoff season, and it means big performances and even bigger rewards. DoorDash is bringing the heat with a slam dunk deal for Dash Pass members during the 25 playoffs. It's called They Swoosh, You Score. Anytime a player drops 50 or more points in a playoff game, can we get that where if you beat a team by 50 or more points? Because nothing. Dash Pass members score a free 3-piece crispy tender combo for Wingstop the very next day. Just place an order of $20 or more. Use code Wingstop50 at checkout, and the combo is yours. Crispy, delicious, and totally free. Offer valid noon to midnight the day after the game. What's your go-to move after an epic game? Are you ordering wings and reliving highlights? Imagine being rewarded with free food just because someone went off for 50. Ever looked at your delivery fees and thought, there's got to be a better way? With Dash Pass, you get $0 delivery fees and exclusive perks like this one. How much would you save this season? So here's the play. Sign up at Dash Pass to unlock this and more exclusive deals all season long. When any player scores 50+ in a playoff game, Dash Pass members can grab a free 3-piece crispy tender combo from Wingstop the next day with $20 plus order code Wingstop50. That's Dash Pass. Your door to more savings, more flavor, and more ways to win. Terms apply. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
You know what always throws me off about them deals is like, you got to order like $50 worth of food to get like the $10.
Well, it said $20. It said only $20. $20. I mean, listen, three tenders is more brain cells than Brian Kelder has. So there you go on that one. With that said, Pat, I want to ask you this, man.
I did not see that one coming. It was such a quick one.
It was quick one.
Straight to the ribs.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about this one, Pat. How aggressive should the Bulls be in the draft? And I asked this, and this is kind of where my mind is on this one. The Bulls got all their first round picks back, right? We know that the summer of 26 is when they're hoping that this team is in a place where they can attract some free agents, whether that's whoever, or name your 26 free agent. If the Bulls see somebody, whether it's a Thomas Sorber, whether it's a Asa Newell, whether it's Kaman Maloak, whoever it is that they've identified as number 1, number 2 on their board, should they be willing to package that 26 pick or any other pick to move up and get that guy?
You think we're gonna have to move up to get Thomas Sorber?
I said anybody. I'm just saying.
I was like, I feel like he gonna be right in that range.
Yeah, Thomas Sorber should be right there where we are. But that's why I threw out names. I did a draft profile on Thomas Sorber. That's why he was at the fourth.
Yeah, Thomas Sorber got some game, bro. I like his game. Here's what I'll say, and this is just based on how the Bulls are moving. If you're a Bulls, if your Bulls plan is basically acquire your pieces via trade very late in this process and then go out there and not take back first round picks and not take back more draft capital and not try and just bottom out to be a top 5 team in the NBA draft, then I think you have to, right? If your plan is we're going to make trades to go get Josh Giddey, we're going to, Coby White was already on the team. We're going to re-sign him. And we figured it out in the draft with Matas. But up until then, you've passed on first-round picks for Zach LaVine. You've passed on first-round picks for Lonzo Ball. You've passed on first-round picks for multiple people on this team. I think you have to say or have a willingness to trade up to actually try and go get you a top 5 player. Because here's the thing at the end of the day. It is true that your best players that you're going to find in the draft are usually in the top 5 unless you're just an elite GM. Where the Bulls are at right now, more likely than not, you're not getting that top 5 pick. And if you're at like 10 and you can package a couple of firsts to get into that top 5 in this draft, where I would say this is kind of like how the NFL draft is coming up, that there's going to be pieces in there at 15, at 20 that are still impact pieces on a team. But your best of the best are going to be in that top 5, then yeah, go into that top 5 and get your guy. Be aggressive, because that's the only way you're going to get into that top 5 with this game plan that you're currently putting out there.
Who right now is the number one on your? I don't know. You didn't have time to prepare for this off the top of your head. Who's the number one on your board, and what would you be willing, or even if it's just generally in the top 5, what would you be willing? A combination of players, future picks, to move up to get that top 5 pick this year.
What would I be willing to?
Yep.
I mean, my top is Cooper Flagg. I think everyone's top is Cooper Flagg.
Well,
but
realistically, I give it.
Probably still Derrick Queen, and the tournament definitely helped him.
I think he's still going to beat her around 10, though. But
no, listen, my boy, if you trade, go get him.
No, I feel you.
I'm saying be aggressive, and it's because, right, Derrick Queen is one of those guys who it almost feels like, okay, not only is he bringing the energy, not only is he bringing the skill set, but also could he be bringing some of that leadership that it seems like the Bulls have a little bit more of now. But right, do you have that star leader on your team? I think he fits perfectly in with Giddey. I think he actually fits with this team that you have kind of put together here with Matas and Giddey on the floor.
And he's very ball dominant. Very, like, he has a 29% usage rate as a center. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I think that you also are, no matter what, you're adjusting your game coming into the NBA, and the NBA is a different game. Ball dominant systematically in a college system versus ball dominant in the NBA. I don't think that he needs to be ball dominant to get his game off. And to me, I think he's one of those players who in a shooting league is going to fit in perfectly, because he's going to get so many second chance opportunities, because he's going to be down there rebounding the basketball. And there's a lot of missed shots in the NBA right now. So it's going to create a ton of opportunities.
What about the defensive aspect, though? Is that your biggest concern with Derrick Queen, too, is the defense?
There's not a single good defensive player on this team right now, and this team is pretty good defensively. Like, team defense. Like, literally, by the end of the season, we did not have one good defensive player.
And to your credit, Zach Collins, who has not historically been considered a good defense, some of the best defense we played all season long was with Zach Collins on the court. So, yeah. Just wanted to ask, you know what I mean? Like,
it's the Bulls are going to be a team defense team no matter what. There's too many people on this team that aren't good at defense, and literally it's just like, if you commit to doing this thing well, the rest of the team will help you, and you will be a better defensive team. So the defensive aspect doesn't worry me. And honestly, I would say, listen, I'll trade you this year's first. I'll trade you next year's first. And we can move up and try and go get, because at the end of the day, next year's first is going to be 7 to 11, because the Bulls aren't bottoming out.
Yeah.
So that's where you're going to be.
And what you're hoping is that by moving up and getting your guy now, that your pick is considerably worse lower last year, right? And maybe hopefully not even a lottery pick. So yeah, I can see that. My guy, as far as, because I kind of did want to look at top 5, top 6 to move up in. I love Derrick Queen. I love Thomas Sorber. I love Rasheer Fleming. I love Ace Newell. But all those guys are probably going to be close enough to where you don't have to, even if you did want to move up a spot or two, you probably don't have to give your first. Well, maybe you do, because it's probably not going to be a lottery pick. But if you're moving into that realistically area, I think Trey Johnson right there. Now, I know he's not a position of need. You'd have to include Coby in that case. But Trey Johnson is definitely somebody to be willing to move up for sure. So
Trey Johnson is such a baller, and I mean, he's a monster, dog. But it's just, do we want to do? Look,
if you're giving up Coby, get a Giddey and Trey Johnson backcourt.
Here's the real conversation you got to have. It's not in that scenario. It's not, I'm adding another guard to the team.
You're changing.
I'm adding the guard.
Yeah, you're adding.
Like, this is going to be the guard that we need for this team to get to the next level.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at Trey Johnson.
I wouldn't. Listen, I love Trey. The more and more I just know he's not going to be there realistically on the Bulls board, and that's kind of what I wanted to focus on for trying to move up.
What I do like about Trey Johnson is I think he's already almost 200 pounds.
Yeah. I think I don't remember off the top of my head, but at 6'6", he better be almost 200 pounds.
Yeah.
But
Well, listen, this is a different NBA now. You know what I mean? These must be 6'6", 145. It'd be like, eat a chicken sandwich, bro.
Did you go to Chick-fil-A, my boy? That we can get your Popeye chicken sandwich, just one of them.
Steph just dropped 50, bro. Go get them tenders, man. Hey, man, before we get back and talk about the fallout from Peter Patton being fired, we do got to give you guys a word from our sponsors over at FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are here, ladies and gentlemen, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if you win. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking your favorite team or diving into player props. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player prop. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into same game parlays for a chance to win. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. That's FanDuel.com. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
All right, Pat. Last topic before we get up out of here today. I know we talked about it. We dropped a quick episode on the breaking news episode when it went down. But Peter Patton, of course, was let go over the course of this weekend. Basically, the day after the season-ending pressers, which, you know, AK wanted us to be patient about development. You fire your development coach. We heard in that a lot of the Bulls players were very upset by this move. Josh Giddey even made a post on Instagram, in his story that kind of alluded to him being pissed off about it as well. Do you think that there will be any fallout of this? Like, whether it's immediate, like as far as this offseason negotiating with players, if it's something that could, reverberate until maybe next offseason where players are kind of looking at this, like, what type of fallout and lasting impact do you think this will have outside of us just losing the best coach we've had at developing this whole time?
Well, listen, I think it shakes the faith. You know what I mean? Like, if there was faith that you were building something, if there was faith that you were developing from the players, not to say that they're going to stop developing, that they're going to stop doing their job, but it shakes your faith in AK that, hey, this guy did his job the right way and you got rid of him.
Yeah.
This guy did everything right. Like, now listen, we don't know everything that's going on, right? Maybe Peter Patton took a swing at AK behind the scenes. Like, that's happened in our front offices before.
It's sad that wouldn't be, this would be the third front office in a row that got swung on. So,
well, the previous two both went to ECF, so I'm here for that. You know what I mean? Like,
they went to ECFs after. I mean,
after
before
the swing.
The punch.
After the swing.
Before the swing. Tom Thibodeau was after the swing.
Thibodeau was after the swing. Well, Del Negro did it so Del Negro swung so that Thibodeau could get hired. That's essentially what happened there.
Every swing we get closer, so the next swing, hopefully title. Is that what you're saying?
We swing up. Sorry, shout out 420. But no, man, I think that listen, like there's going to be some faith that's been shaken in that building, and I would not be surprised if there are players who, if this thing doesn't hit next year and you're not winning at a 57% clip, which gets you about 47, 48 wins, who look at it and go, why do I want to stay here? Why would I want to be here? I'll tell you this. I also think it changes the conversation around Giddey on, I know there's not a lot of teams that can pay him, but if you send him out into restricted free agency, he's going to try and get signed for the max that he can get. And we don't know how these mugs in the NBA try to move money around now. Like, it's kind of becoming a little NFL, like, where it's like, how'd you just create cap space when you have three superstars? This makes absolutely no sense right now. Unless you're the Suns, then it's just welcome to hell.
Bro, in every shape, form, and fashion. No matter where the Bulls are as a franchise, just look at the Suns and just be like, well, hey, at least we're not those guys. The Suns and the Hornets are always two teams you can look at and be like, at least we're not them.
I don't know. Suns went to a lot of finals.
A lot of finals?
Well, not this version of the Suns, but like I'll take the Suns. I
think the Suns have only been in the finals like 3 times in their franchise history.
And they went twice since we've been. And they've always been at the top of the Western Conference. I'll take it.
Well, I'll give you. Yes, they've always been towards the top of the Western Conference. But no, the fallout of the Peter Patton thing, I do think it could be one of those things that we may never talk about again, like after this goes, but like it may be one of those things where when you're sitting across that table negotiating with Coby White and Coby wants some assurances on what you're going to do to keep this team. And if he's not confident in it, we look at it and say, well, maybe that Peter Patton firing had something to do with it. Or let's say Matas doesn't take that leap from year 1 to year 2 that it looked like he was on precipice to take. Like, then we look at it and say, what would have been like if Peter Patton was in here and got at least, like, they could have at least waited to the summer. Like, let him go through the summer and work with Matas. But, nonetheless, bro.
Well, and I mean, here's the thing that people got to understand, right? Like, the relationship with the players and the front office is always at a distance, right? It's not to say that they never speak to each other, but it's always, right, AK's here, but it's not, I'm in your face talking with you every single day. The relationship with the players and the coaches,
yeah,
I'm working with Peter Patton every day. Like, this is somebody, like, this is like your homie got fired. You know what I mean? Like, these players have great relationships with Peter Patton. They have trust built with Peter Patton. And now you're basically just going to say, all right, now build that up and figure it out with the new guy. Like that, it doesn't work that way. And so I do think there's going to be some fallout from this. And I think that, listen, if you don't win early on next season, it could get bad quick. It could get bad real quick.
Yeah, this could be one of those things where we start seeing the stuff start going left, man. Especially now you've left players going into the offseason, and that last thought is you fired somebody that they were all very close with, and now they got to sit with that for a whole summer.
Yeah.
So see what happens there. Any last thoughts, Pat, before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer.
Absolutely. You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, Fubo TV, everywhere that you want us, we can be there. Also, go to LockedOnDaily.com to sign up for the Locked On Bulls daily newsletter. I'm about to get writing on that here after we finish the show. So it should be out within the next hour. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See y'all tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Yeah, man, am I reading this right? Did the